Welcome back. In Section 8, we will review the storage options in AWS. Storage is where you store all types of data. That could be your customer data, videos, pictures, or any other type of data. Businesses need to store these data types as well. Before reviewing AWS services, let's review some basics of storage in the cloud. So we have our computer and its hardware and software components. Remember, you can configure your computer in Amazon EC2 to be your cloud computer. But remember, you're renting this cloud computer and paying for it only when you use it. Well, what happens to the data when you turn these computers off and turn it back on? For your computer, you end up with your computer. The data and applications remain intact. Let's see what happens when you turn off your cloud computer. For your cloud computer, everything is deleted. When you turn it back on, it recreates everything, and you end up with a new computer. Why does it do this? It is because you're renting this. As soon as you shut down the EC2, AWS releases that from your account and makes it available for someone else to rent. This is no different than renting a house or an apartment, just a lot faster. Therefore, the storage attached to your instance is considered ephemeral, meaning it is temporary and it gets deleted when you shut down your instance. The ephemeral feature is called instance store. Well, that presents a big problem. If all your data is deleted every time you shut down your instance, how do we get around this? Before we get into AWS storage services that can solve our problem, it is important to understand the basics of storage options. There are three main storage types in the cloud: block storage, object storage, and file systems. Depending on your application and user requirements, you would choose one or more storage options. Let's take a closer look at what capabilities each storage option enables. The way block storage works is that the system chops data into blocks and adds a unique identifier to each block. This allows them to be stored locally or close together. It is ideal for structured data. Block storage is used for high performance and low latency data retrieval applications. Object storage is considered a flat structure, meaning that the data is broken into pieces called objects and shared among the storage devices. This data also gets a unique identifier. These are good for structured and unstructured data types. I'll explain what that is in a minute. But this kind of storage is good for large or any type of data. As an example, Word documents, videos, or images. File storage is like your file system that you will create in your Microsoft or Mac folder. Data is stored in files with a file extension such as .pg, .docx, or .txt. This type of storage is good for hierarchical data and is designed for structured and unstructured data. Applications developed to manage files would leverage file storage. Okay, so what is structured and unstructured data? When you think about structured data, think about an Excel spreadsheet with rows and columns. Some applications are developed to write and read this type of data very well. This type of data has been used widely across the industry for years. When you think about unstructured data, think about an image or Word document or video. There is no structure to this, but you still need to be able to analyze it or store it. The exam won't have questions on this, but you do need to understand the basics to understand the AWS services we will discuss in the next slide. So, what does AWS has to offer for storage? It turns out there are three main storage types in AWS as well. Let's look at the AWS Elastic Block Storage, also known as Amazon EBS. Remember block storage type? Well, this is that. EBS is a storage volume that you attach to your EC2 computer. This is different than the InstaStore that is built with an EC2 because this is attached to the EC2. So if the EC2 is shut down, the data in the EBS persists. Let's see what other features come with EBS. You can attach multiple EBS volumes to EC2. Say you have hundreds of thousands of files and one EBS volume is not enough. Well, just add another one to it. You also have different EBS types of solid-state drive and hard disk drive, and depending on your application, one makes more sense than the other. In the associate and professional course, we will dive deeper into that. But for now, just know there is SSD or HDD options. You can also take a snapshot of your EBS volumes. So remember what happened when we turned our EC2 instances off and our data persisted in the EBS? Well, what happens if we shut down our EBS volumes? It turns out this is also rented. You have the option of running this every day and paying for it, which becomes costly, or you can take a snapshot of your data and store it into an S3, a cheaper storage service. We will cover this in the next service. When you need to relaunch your data and start off where you ended, you can configure an EBS volume to launch using your snapshot. That concludes the first part of the AWS Storage Services lecture. As always, thank you for your support. Please like, subscribe, and comment. This helps us to grow our channel to the broader community and enables us to stay connected with you. For the full course, slides, practice exam, and labs, please visit our website at HiveTekCourse.com. For feedback, questions, and comments, please message me directly at info@HiveTekCourse.com.